October in Iowa is kind of a cool month for me. So we're all getting our cars ready to put away for the winter, but there is a cruise they call Cruise to the Woods. It's something I go on every year. It usually ranges around 1,000 to 1,200 cars. And I do it a little differently than most. I like to get to this park early and I set up with friends, and it's really the full experience of what the car community is. So yeah, we get there early, we start cooking breakfast and we all hang out, our kids play, and then we go down to the main road. It's like a 2-lane pass through of the park, and all these cars just drive by and you get to see a rolling car show for over an hour. And it is just a unique experience that you don't really see anywhere else. The only issue I have with this year is my car that I recently did a video over installing the ported heads and redoing some of the suspension and fixing some oil leaks. I haven't really driven a whole lot. And it has maybe 100 miles on it, not quite a tank of gas of tuning, so I've been still working on the tune. And there's a couple other things I really need to get to fixing, and I'll put those in this video as I repair them. Another hurdle I have is I had a friend reach out to me earlier this week that had recently bought a Trans Am, and it has sat for a couple years, and overall over the last 7 years really hasn't been driven a whole lot. But anyways, for the gist of it is it's been sitting for a while in tall grass, has some issues. He says it might have a wheel bearing or axle bearing going out, has a couple other things we need to look at, check engine light on, and since it just really hasn't been running in the last year or two, we need to go over it and see what we can find.
Now we're back to polishing this. Paint's not terrible for being as old as it is, but it's never going to be perfect. So what I typically do is I just polish it enough to make it look shiny from about 50 feet. And if it looks good from 50 feet, that's good enough for me to drive at a car show. It's good enough for me to drive every day as it is. Obviously, I haven't polished these wheels in over a year and it still looks good. Kind of.
There we are, pretty much done with it. I only spend about 2.5 hours maybe to kind of polish this entire thing, throw a coat of wax on it, get the wheels somewhat clean. I really enjoy driving it. I think if it's your hobby to have it look perfect, absolutely go for it. But for me, I really enjoy to drive them. I don't want to cry when it gets dirty. So I just really like to polish it somewhat, make it look good from 50 feet, and enjoy it. I think that's what it's all about. You don't have to dump a bunch of time and money into it.
Anyways, we have a couple other things I got to address before I can drive this. Got it all polished up. Still can't take it. Some of the things that's going on here is, well, that's not good. It's really not good. I mean, I think that it's supposed to stay in that track. So I'm just going to tear this door apart and see why this window's loose. Also think that this is supposed to, oh yeah. Fixed. I don't know if that's all the screws or not. I feel like there's supposed to be one more, but that does not look like it. This thing come off? Oh, wait. Need a screw taken out. Ah, yeah. So where you just start pulling? Yep. The guides are tight. Ooh. I wonder where that goes. I got a nice mouse nest in there. We'll dig that out, but one of the things, it's kind of hard to see, this right here is in this track. It has a threads on it. It's tight. Much better. Actually looks like I know what I'm doing now. I think while I'm here, and that's all off, maybe we'll fix this mirror too. One of the things that has driven me nuts about this car, there's two things of its exterior. Paint's not perfect. I don't really care about that. I said that earlier. But clearly this mirror's been coming off, and I bought it like that. But you get the entire car all nice and shiny, right? And then this. I got to do something about that. Been driving like this since 2018, but today might be the day. The next thing that's been driving me nuts about this car is, yes, it is a Z28 on this side. Not a Z28 on this side. We should fix that. Yeah, we can do with that. I know that we can't see it from both sides, but I feel like I should be measuring the other side just to make sure that it's somewhat close. Put some double-sided tape on the back of it. I kind of wish I would have done emblem adhesive, but this will work. I'll get this with my eyeballs good enough. Make sure I peel this off to see if it's level enough. Feel like I gotta look at the other side. Feel like that'll do. That's what we're gonna do right there. Perfect. Now we just gotta go over and work on this mirror. If you ever painted anything, especially black, you'll know that there's a lot of different colors of black in general. It's not just a gloss black to go with it. With this oxidation of the clear coat here, really this mirror needs repainted. I'm going to try to just sand it, get it down to base coat, and then reshoot it with clear so it's close enough. Worst case, I'm going to have to spray it with hopefully the closest thing of black I can get. The problem is most black you're going to get is all single stage, and it just doesn't shine like what base coat, clear coat paint does. But we'll sand it with some 320, try to get down to this base coat here, see what happens. Hope for the best. Nice wax and grease remover. This might be a complete bust. It might not turn out at all. I'm just hoping that I can use a $6 can of spray paint clear and make it look presentable. I do still have some automotive clear I could mix up in the touch-up gun, but Then this, where I sanded it, where it was kind of oxidized, just still giving me kind of a funky look versus where it was shiny at. I don't know if I should sand all that off or if it'll actually clear over. Two kind of light coats, let it get tacky, and then we'll hit it with a really good heavy coat. I can definitely see where it's lighter where that was. Not looking for perfect. I just don't want it to be so ugly. I think it would have been okay if I sanded the rest of that oxidized area off instead of just smoothing it out. So I'm not gonna lie to you, I ran the crap out of that clear, that Rust-Oleum clear. So what I ended up doing is I wet sanded this with 1000 grit. You can kind of see that dull finish there. Kind of see maybe a little bit of shine where there was a run, but I ended up sanding almost all the runs out of it. That was a nice thing about putting so much clear on it, was there was a ton to be able to wet sand. So what I'm gonna do here is hit it with medium cut cleaner from Meguiar's with a drill, polish it out, and hopefully it comes out of it. In here, you see kind of my sag there, and I can still sand that out, but it's right really close to the edge. So I don't know if I want to or not. I'm going to take some of this cut to finish. It's made by Sonax. It's supposed to take out 1500 grit scratches. So we'll see how that goes. Should shine it up really nice. It's what I polished the car with. I'm actually going to use the same pad that I did this medium cut cleaner on. Just not that worried about it. This is a budget repair. Budget fix. Oh yeah. That is so much better. Should have left the door panel off. I'm trying to get ahead of myself, and I put this door panel back on. And now it's really hard to Get these nuts back on. Open the door more, like it's going to give me more room to get to the mirror that's attached to the door. It did not. Oh no. Turns out, when it's a power mirror, it needs to be plugged into the wiring harness that's behind the door panel that I already put on. Huh. Who would have thought? Idiot. Either way, I'll show you the final thing before I pull my door panel apart. Final result, there's a lighter part right in here. But guess what? From right here, can't see it. And the nice thing about this is we saved the black that the car already was. So it's still the same base coat that was originally on the car. We just re-cleared over it. You can definitely tell that clear was a little more yellow because in person, it's just slightly lighter black now. But I didn't have to mix any paint. I didn't have to put it in the paint gun, no touch-up spray. And even though I was polishing the car and cleaning the interior and doing all that, that's fixed right there. If I didn't have to wet sand it, really only took me about an hour, not quite even that. So I'm happy with how it turned out. So the other thing I got going on is this door right here rubs when you open it up on this fender. It's actually even broke the fender. And at some point this thing was in a fender bender and it slid the fender back, and now this will open just fine right now as it's cold, but the moment it sits in the sun and it has the sun expand this fender or that door, it just rubs and catches on this fender enough to make you cringe. I mean, you'll hear it catch, and then it finally broke the fender up here. I should have addressed it a long time ago. Laziness on my part. But we're gonna loosen this up, see if we can't raise the fender, do something with it so it doesn't come even close to this. Kind of getting ready for a hot rod cruise is a lot like selling a house. You don't fix all the stuff that needs fixing until it's ready to go. Guessing it's not rubbing anymore, we'll put a little bit of touch-up paint on it. Never even know it was there. Just kidding. Not perfect, but a lot better than what it was. I hope that door stays that way and doesn't keep catching. Now I gotta go buy some hinge rebuild kits so that door doesn't sag, which sounds great, and I can't wait to do that. Oh, I think I hear it.
And the dog's there. Check this thing out. It's actually a lot cleaner than in the pictures.
It's been a lot cleaner if I didn't go down 4 miles of travel thanks to Google.
So we got Dave's car up on the lift, and there was just so much to do that we couldn't record every single thing we were fixing. But what we did find is mice had eaten all of the O2 wiring, and I don't mean just a little bit. They ate inches of O2 sensor wiring. They ate plug wires. They ate for the low oil level sensor. So this actually was the reason for his check engine light. We put new O2 sensors in it, fixed some wiring for the other stuff, put new plugs and wires in it, and that really helped the car run better. We also had to put a new axle bearing in it, and then when we pulled the axle out, we noticed that the axle itself was pitted really bad. So we had to go out behind and pull an axle shaft to replace that with. Then I also found that the K-frame was loose, so the whole front engine cradle was loose on the driver's side. We tightened that up, and we just kind of kept plugging away on all these little things we found, and that's what you get with a car that's been sitting. But I'm sure glad that he brought it over here and we got on the lift to check it out. What's scary is he actually drove this almost 100 miles to get it to my place, and then the next day obviously we're planning on driving this another 200, 300 miles. But here we're just kind of going through everything, plugging away, fixing every little thing we've seen, putting new fluids in the rear end after we've put axle bearings in it. So Dave's currently weed eating or trimming all the tall grass around the parts car we're going to pull this axle out of. Wasn't something we're planning on doing today, but this car, like he said, has only been driven 12,000 miles and it lasts like 7 years. And it just, the axle is something that happens. The wiring, we didn't see that coming, but it was sitting in tall grass for the last year or two. So that stuff's gonna happen. So right now I am just trying to round up tools and jack stands and everything to go out back and pull this axle shaft.
I'm glad we had a parts car to be able to pull the axle out of, but in reality I think Dave probably would have put motive axles in it if we had more time, but we were on a time crunch, so we went ahead and pulled the axle out of this parts car.
So, got the axle pulled out here. That'll work.
And it has some witness marks on it, but it's not chipping or anything.
That image be better than what was in it.
Yeah, that one's gonna be a lot better than what was in it.
All right, we'll put it back together.
All right, man. Drive safe.
Oh, I definitely will.
Well, it actually has O2 sensors that work, so that helps. I didn't video a whole lot of what was going on with Dave's stuff because the more we worked on it, the more we found. So the oil level sensor was chewed off, the spark plug wires were chewed up, the O2 sensor wires were chewed up. It was such a mess getting into it that it's too much to operate the camera right now. There he goes. But anyways, we got all of that stuff fixed up, so that's kind of the fun part about the cruise. I never like waiting the day before the cruise to get stuff done, but either way, it is it's done. Car runs a lot better now. Put plugs, wires, fixed some wires, new O2 sensor, put a girdle cover on the back. We put fresh gear oil in it. What else do we do? And Ellie wasn't here to help at all. Why weren't you here to help? Where were you?
I was at Aunt Ash's new house.
Oh, you're at Aunt Ash's new house. Well, that wasn't helpful to us. All right. Anyways, cars should be ready to go for tomorrow, and we'll see them in the morning as long as it doesn't break down, which shouldn't. I don't think it will.
We're gonna go to the show. The toy show.
Yes, we're gonna go to the car show in the morning. So as we're going to the car show in the morning, we're gonna see all types of hot rods. You're gonna play at the park a little bit. At the end of the day, long day of work.
Whoa.
Hopefully it's worth it tomorrow. Right, Ellie?
Yeah.
All right.
We cleaned it today, so I hope it's ready.
Yeah, we cleaned it today, so we hope it's ready. See you guys in the morning. Finally, it's Sunday morning, and it's time to do the WC Cruisers Cruise to the Woods. You can see the sun's starting to come up. I just got to get the family loaded up, a couple more items so we can cook breakfast up there. And then I need to stop and get some E85, top off. I think that's it. I hope that's it. Should be it. Yeah, let's go wake everyone up. You ready to go on a cruise, Ellie?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right. First. At our first fuel stop. If I can get the thing to work. We'll burn the 85 most of the trip. Most stations in Iowa have it, so it's getting a lot more popular across the country, so I try to use it as much as I can, and it smells a little bit better. Now I'm just going to top off and go get some energy in a can.
So after just under 3 hours of driving, we arrive at Dolliver State Park here in Iowa. And I've been doing this cruise since 2008, and this entrance never gets old to me. It's one of those things that you roll in on this 2-lane road, you enter this beautiful canopy of trees into a nice winding road, and it really reminds you of some of the roads out east in Tennessee or North Carolina. And anyways, we enter this beautiful drive-in, and we find our parking spot, and we sit and enjoy the car show. So I hope you enjoy just a little piece of what we get to enjoy every year, and why we make it an annual trip. This is really, if you're into cars, or even if you're not into cars, you just like seeing different things or needing something to do on an October weekend, this is just something you should add to your bucket list, because you just won't see anything like it around here.
Well, I made it home. Dave made it home in that Trans Am that we worked on yesterday right before the cruise. We had a good time. Pretty much did just about 300 miles in it. Towards the end of the last fuel stop, I went to start it, and it backfired and blew a couple vacuum caps off. I've been fighting an intake leak on this, trying to get it to seal on the intake runners, so that's something I'm going to have to take a look at, and might have to try a different intake manifold. I'm not sure what's going on there, but either way, it made it home. It ran pretty good. The girls had a great time. These are the things that we really enjoy about the car community. We get to go out and have fun and visit with our friends. The kids get to play together and they meet new friends. And of course, you get to see everyone's different type of hot rods. So I really encourage you to find something similar to this, go out and enjoy it, because it's one time a year for us, and we really enjoy this cruise every single year. Thanks for watching. As always, please like and subscribe, comment if you have any questions about it. This cruise is multiple states that all meet up there in Stratford, Iowa, and then drives through this state park. So look it up if you're in the Midwest. I guarantee you, you'll enjoy it. Even if you don't want to do the cruise, come out, hang out in the park, find us. So, all right, I'll see you next time.